Imagine this: you're going through your old change jar, maybe one that's been sitting untouched for decades, and there it is, that famous 1976 Bicentennial quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like any other coin. But what if I told you that one small mistake during its minting could turn the 25-cent coin into a jackpot worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, up to a jaw-dropping $1 million or more? That's right, the 1976-era Bicentennial quarter dollar isn't just another collectible. It's a treasure hiding in plain sight. And if you're lucky enough to find one of the rarest errors, you might be holding one of the most valuable modern quarters ever struck by the U.S. Mint. So grab your magnifying glass, sit tight, and don't even think about skipping, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes these rare bicentennial quarters worth life-changing money, and why collectors are paying incredible sums to own these pieces of American history. Let's go back in time to 1976. The United States was celebrating its 200th birthday to full centuries of independence, innovation, and heritage. The Mint wanted something special to mark the moment. Instead of the usual eagle reverse design on the Washington quarter, they released a brand new look, a bold, patriotic design, featuring a Revolutionary War drummer boy on the back, and the dual dates 1776 to 1976 on the front. It was the first time the Mint had ever changed the quarter's design for a national event. Millions of these coins were struck, both in Philadelphia and Denver. But as with any massive minting project, mistakes were bound to happen. Some of those mistakes turned out to be so dramatic, so unique, that they transformed ordinary bicentennial quarters into legendary treasures, and that's where things get exciting. Let's talk about the first and most famous of all, the 1976 bicentennial quarter struck on a 40% silver planchet. Now, these planchets were intended only for special collector's sets, not circulation. But somehow, a few of them slipped through the cracks at the Mint. When these silver planchet quarters entered everyday circulation, no one noticed at first, but sharp-eyed collectors soon did. The difference in metal composition means these coins weigh slightly more than the regular copper-nickel quarters, around 5.75 grams, instead of 5.67. So how valuable are they? Well, depending on condition and silver content, some 1976 bicentennial silver quarters have sold for $5,000 to $10,000, but that's just the beginning. If yours is a verified mint error, especially one struck on the wrong planchet, it could be worth a staggering $50,000 or even $70,000. Now, let's crank the rarity up another notch. There's one particular 1976 bicentennial quarter that made headlines when it sold for over $78,000. Yes, you heard that right, $350,000 for a single quarter. What made it so special? It was a double die obversa coin where the design was accidentally struck twice, slightly misaligned. Under magnification, you can see doubling in the date 1776 to 1976, in the word Liberty, and sometimes even in Washington's profile. These double dies are extremely rare and highly sought after. Collectors go crazy for these because each one is slightly different, a fingerprint of history. They aren't just coins, they're the result of human error, mechanical precision gone wrong, and pure chance. But the surprises don't stop there. Another mind-blowing find came from a 1976 bicentennial quarter struck on a nickel planchet. Imagine a quarter that's smaller, lighter, and silvery in color, but missing the copper edge. These off-metal strikes are incredibly rare because they occurred when a blank meant for another denomination accidentally got fed into the quarter press. Only a handful have ever been found, and auction results have shocked even seasoned collectors. Some have sold for $7,000, others for $15,000, and pristine examples have crossed the $25,000 mark. Then there are the off-center strikes, coins that were misaligned when struck, leaving part of the design cut off and blank space visible. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable it becomes. If you ever find a 1976 bicentennial quarter that looks like part of the drummer boy is missing or the date is only half visible, don't spend it. Even a modest off-center strike could fetch $1,000 to $3,000, while extreme cases, where only half the design shows, can reach $10,000 or more. Let's not forget the clipped planchet errors, those strange crescent-shaped bites, missing from the edge of a coin. These happen when the metal sheet used to make the blanks gets missed during production. A clipped bicentennial quarter in excellent condition can be worth $5,000 to $15,000, depending on size and visibility of the error. But now, let's talk about something that sends shockwaves through the collecting world every time one surfaces the 1976 bicentennial quarter struck on a proof planchet. Proof coins are made with polished dies and specially prepared blanks to produce mirror-like surfaces for collectors. These coins were never meant for circulation, but somehow, a few slipped out. When one of these shiny mirror-surfaced quarters turns up in the wild, it's like striking gold. One verified proof error bicentennial quarter fetched nearly $80,000 at auction. And the story doesn't stop there. The most famous of all is the 1976 bicentennial quarter struck on a cent planchet. Imagine seeing that a copper red coin, smaller than a regular quarter, but with Washington's design partially cut off. These bizarre minting accidents are unbelievably rare and have fetched $15,000 to $30,000, depending on grade and visibility of detail. Every one of these coins tells a story, a moment when history, technology, and sheer luck collided. The U.S. Mint was under immense pressure in 1975 and 1976 to produce millions of bicentennial coins to meet public demand. With presses running non-stop, quality control sometimes slipped, and from those moments, legends were born. Now, here's a wild twist. A few 1976 bicentennial quarters were struck using leftover 1974 dies, meaning they have subtle differences in font thickness, spacing, and positioning. While most people would never notice, experts know these die varieties can mean big money. Verified transitional errors or misdated die strikes have fetched up to $25,000 in auctions, and then there are the unbelievable multiple strike errors where the coin was struck more than once, often in different orientations. These coins look like they've been printed twice, with ghostly overlapping images. Collectors love them for their chaotic beauty, and depending on condition, these can bring $10,000 to $50,000. The excitement around these coins isn't just about their metal or rarity, it's about the moment in history they represent. The bicentennial year was a unifying celebration across America. Families were trading in old coins for the new drummer boy quarters just for fun. Kids were saving them in jars, not realizing that some of those coins, sitting quietly for decades, could someday pay for college, a new car, or even a home. Even today, collectors scour rolls of 1976 quarters from banks, hoping to uncover a hidden gem. And here's the kicker: new discoveries are still being made. A few years ago, a man from Arizona found a 1976 D quarter with a major die crack running across Washington's head. At first glance, it looked like damage. But upon grading and verification, it turned out to be an authentic mint error worth nearly $2,000. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these rare 1976 bicentennial quarters? Start by checking the basics. Look closely at the date 1776 to 1976. Do you notice doubling, thick lines, or shadow images that could be a double die? Next, check the edge. Is it copper-colored or silver all the way through? A silver planchet means you might be holding a special collector issue, possibly worth thousands. Weigh it. A normal clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver one, around 5.75. A nickel planchet error will weigh about 5 grams, and a cent planchet error around 3.1 grams. These tiny differences can reveal whether your coin is a multi-thousand-dollar treasure. If the coin looks odd off-center, missing parts, strangely colored, or unusually shiny, don't clean it, don't polish it, and absolutely don't spend it. Place it in a protective holder and get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can easily double or triple your coin's value. And here's something that keeps collectors up at night. There are rumors of a 1976 bicentennial quarter struck on a gold planchet. While none have been fully authenticated yet, stories circulate about prototype strikes or private test pieces that escape destruction. If one ever surfaces and is verified, experts estimate it could fetch well over $1 million. That's the kind of discovery that could change someone's life forever. Now imagine this: you've had a small jar of old quarters in your home for years. Maybe it belonged to your parents, or you've been tossing spare change into it since the 1980s. Somewhere in there could be that one coin, that rare 1976 error bicentennial quarter that collectors dream about. It's not just metal. It's a time capsule, a reminder of a year when the nation came together, when flags waved in every town, when fireworks lit up the sky to celebrate 200 years of freedom. And in that patriotic frenzy, the mint's little mistakes became national treasures. Even common 1976 bicentennial quarters in pristine condition, the highest possible grades, like MS-67 or MS-68, can fetch impressive prices. Some have sold for $2,000 to $4,000 simply because of their flawless surfaces and strong strikes. Add an error or rare die variety to that, and you're suddenly talking about 5 or 6 figures. So next time you're sorting through change, keep your eyes peeled for that drummer boy design. Look for unusual colors, odd shapes, or doubling in the date. Remember, that quarter in your hand might not just be worth 25 cents. It could be the next coin that headlines a $1 million auction. Collectors know this coin by heart, the 1976 bicentennial quarter dollar, but what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is hidden in the tiniest details. So, before you drop that old coin in a vending machine, take one last look. Because that's how legends are found, in the most unexpected places. Somewhere out there, in a drawer, a piggy bank, or an old coffee can, another rare bicentennial error is waiting to be discovered.